Hello. So today we're going to be talking about 1099s because today is January 30th and you probably have received your 1099 in the mail or by email. I know a lot of my clients have been getting their 1099Ks. They've been uploading them, and my team and I have been checking to make sure that everything looks good. And so there have been at least two so far that we've seen issues with. There are just things that are wrong with the 1099K. So I figured I would do a video in case you have received a 1099 that is wrong. Now, if you're new here, my name is Jennifer Drew. I am the founder and CEO of Hair CEO. We are a business advisory, bookkeeping, and tax firm specializing in helping self employed hair professionals and hair business owners. So if you're just now joining, um, leave a comment, put a smiley face. We have Tara in the comments. She is enrolled agent here at Hair CEO, and we would love to answer any questions that you have while I'm going through how to correct these 1099Ks. So, like I said, my clients are getting to the point where their 1099Ks are coming in. Now, if you still have not received yours yet and you are waiting on it, just know that technically the IRS says that the companies have until January 31st to postmark. So technically, they could be running to the the post office tomorrow on a Saturday to make sure that it says January 31st so they can meet the deadline. And I know this to be true because I actually had a client email me yesterday and was like, Jennifer, oh my God, I forgot I have to do my 1099 NECs. Can you please help? So, yep, we had to file her 1099 NECs, and it's going to be postmarked today. But she literally has until Saturday. And so, yes, if you have not received your 1099Ks yet, don't worry, it's still technically okay. So let's talk about what can be wrong on your 1099K. So a few different things. It could be that your address is wrong. I know some people that they've been looking for it in the mail and never came, but they got an email. And then when they realized what address was on file, it was an address to an old salon. Or maybe you had a virtual address that you never updated with your credit card processor. So the address could be wrong. Another thing that I've seen a lot of is the 1099K is in the wrong tax ID. So maybe it was in your EIN when it should have been in your Social Security, or vice versa. So that has been an error I've seen. Another error that I've seen is just, and this is the big one, where the amount is just all wrong. So if you're dealing with one of these three issues, of course, the number being wrong is the one we're going to focus on today, because I want to talk to you about what you can do to correct it. And really, I have three things that you should look at doing if your 1099K is wrong. So we're going to go through all three. The first one is request a corrected form. Legally, these companies are required to correct any mistakes, especially if it has been brought to their attention and they can verify that it is a mistake. They are legally responsible for making sure that your documents are filed correctly with the IRS. And so you can request a corrected form. Now, if this is your case, you definitely do not want to sit on this as something that you wanted to do as of like yesterday. So I mean, get on top of it immediately, even if it's after the 31st, because I know if you're watching this live, it's a Friday and the credit card processing companies are likely going to be closed over the weekend. So you're looking at February 2nd as the first day where you could potentially get in contact with someone that can pick up the phone and you can talk to. So still call, you never know. They can do a corrected form for you possibly, but you want to make sure that you get it from them if that's something that they can correct for you. So that's the first thing. And then when they correct it, you will look out for what's called the 1099K, and it'll say at the bottom or at the top, all the forms, I can't remember if the form changed this year, but it'll say corrected. And so you'll have an original 1099K and then you'll have a corrected 1099K. And even if you are a business owner and you have employees or you have contractors, you're able to do the same thing. We've had to do some corrected 1099 NECs working with some companies. They had their books wrong or something, and they weren't working with us, of course. But some people like to do their own books, and then they come to us, and then we fix stuff. But if that's you, you might need to do a 1099 correction. So that is something that is, it happens all the time. The second thing that you can do is reconcile the net versus the gross. This is a big one because I find that this will scare a lot of people who aren't working with an accounting firm during the year. So when you get these 1099Ks, that has the gross amount. And in one of my earlier lives this month, I talked about how these 1099Ks will have what I call ghost income. And so this ghost income can include things like refunds that you've given to your clients. These will include sales tax that you actually paid to the state. It will include the credit card processing fees that you never received, but the credit card company that's a part of your gross revenue. So you want to make sure that you're reconciling what the 1099K has versus what actually wound up in your bank account, because that difference is what you're going to use as deductions on your tax return. So before, like if it's not that you just need to reconcile, like if it's, like this number is way wrong. It has nothing to do with the ghost income, Jennifer. I know that that's not how much money I made, then you want to go with the first one. Now, if both of those things fail and you're like, I'm not getting in contact with anyone, like Square, I've heard, various things about customer support when it comes to these credit card processors, especially around this time of the year because they're busy. It's tax time. They're getting out forms. They're closing their own books. I mean, the beginning of the year, closing in accounting is, if you know anybody in accounting, at the beginning of just the first quarter, right? The first 3 months of the year, be nice to them because they are stressed. I mean, I'm coming on this thing live for 90 days, and I will tell you, my friends and my family thought I was crazy because tax season is already, a crazy time for us. But I love y'all, so I got to make sure I come. But that's something that you want to do is just make sure that you're looking at those two things. Now, if all fails, right, that's what I was talking about. If those two things fail and you cannot get in contact with anybody and you reconciled and you're like, okay, even if I add all of that ghost income back, I still way off, Jennifer. It's like not even close. I have no idea where they got this number from. Then what you would do is, and I don't recommend you doing this on your own, you certainly want to be working with an accounting firm, someone that has a license that can really back you up by doing this. But you want to do what's called the offset method. And the offset method is essentially where you will provide documentation saying that you have tried to reach out to this credit card processor. You've told them, you've given them your records, your documentation, that the amount that they have reported is, incorrect by a significant sum. And you want to offset it by the amount that you deem that, is wrong. Again, this is not something I recommend you do on your own. This is not something you do on TurboTax. Okay. If you're doing your own taxes, I do not recommend this because in my opinion, you're screaming for an audit. If you want to do this with someone who's going to back you up, like at Harris CEO, our tax professionals are enrolled agents. So we're able to defend anything that we put on a tax return in front of the IRS in all 50 states. And so that's something that we have done, the offset method, to make sure that you are not taxed for something that you didn't get, right? Because we want to make sure that you're not overpaying in taxes. So I have some homework for you. I've never given out homework. Today is, it makes 30 days since I've been coming on this live. And remember, if you're new here, I'm going live for 90 days. And so the homework is the over the weekend. Today is Friday. I'm sorry if you're not catching this live and you're catching the replay. Drop a replay in the comments if you are watching the replay. But the weekend homework that I want you to do, number one, I want you to match your deposits. Yes. If you have not been working with an accounting firm and you have not been working with a bookkeeper, you're going to need to do this weekend. I don't want no excuses because we are about to be in February and it's go time for taxes. So I want you to match those deposits. Get in there, look at your bank statements. You have that 1099K. I want you to have it there. And I'm telling you, that 1099K will tell you month by month how much money came in. So you need to be looking at your bank statements and saying, okay, how far off is this? You know, this says I made $22,000 in the month of February. And in your bank accounts, it's only showing 17,000. I got some questions. I'm sure you would have some questions. Where y'all getting the rest of that money from? So you want to make sure that you are matching your deposits. The second thing is you want to separate anything that's personal. I know, folks, I don't condone it, but people do it. So I'm going to talk about it. But if you are someone who gets Cash App sent to you from family members or friends for different things, and you have them just send it to my Cash App, and it's a business Cash App, listen, that's going to be counted as income for taxes, income, taxable income. So you want to separate anything that is personal from your from your inflows of money. You definitely want to make sure you are separating that out. And then lastly, make your appointment with your tax professional. Talk to your tax professional if you have any questions. Listen, I have talked to so many people, self-employed, hair professionals and folks with their own business in the beauty industry. One of the things that I hear over and over again is that, when I talk to my tax professional, I feel like I don't get any help, or they're not responsive. And my question, because I never talk about any other tax professional, like I'm not going to talk bad about someone you've worked with before, because you worked with them before and that's just not my style. I'm never going to put anyone down. I don't know. There's three sides to every story: your side, their side, and then there's the truth, right? So, but when it comes down to that complaint, I always follow up with the question, well, when were you getting in contact with them? Because if you're expecting some long, drawn out conversation, March 29th, you're sorely mistaken. No, I get it. No, it's too late for you to have these conversations. Really, January through April. Like, what are we talking about here? The year is over. And that's not the time to be, figuring out stuff, tax planning, and trying to get somebody to help you with, let's do strategy. No. And so you have to be realistic. When are you trying to get this information? So you want to talk to a tax professional sooner than later, because it's January 30th. I mean, we're technically already in February, right? But you'll get better results and better responses in February than I promise you will get in March. Promise. So that's what I want you to do over the weekend. So you got a little bit of homework. All right. Well, I am way past my time because I thought this was going to be super quick. I thought it was going to be other 10 minutes, but we're already at 14. So I'm going to say have a good weekend. And if you are a hair professional, self-employed, or if you work for a company, a hair company, or you own a hair company and you want help with your taxes this year, we are working with a very limited number of clients this season for 2025 taxes or prior year taxes. The link is in the description for you to work with us. We would love to help you with your accounting, bookkeeping, and tax needs. So reach out, and I will see you tomorrow, day 31. And this is I guess like the pre-day before we get into the one big beautiful bill updates. I'm spending the month of February diving into the most important aspects of those changes and how they're going to impact the hair industry. So I'm really looking forward to that. And so that'll be the eve of that. And so we'll wrap up anything that I haven't talked about generally, and then we'll dive right into the one big beautiful bill on Sunday. All right, guys. Well, have a great weekend, and I will see you tomorrow.